all this land we'll be looking at today, y'all, and really all of South Louisiana was built by the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River comes from all the way up north. Actually starts up in Minnesota as a little bitty stream. Some places it even dries up certain parts of the year. But this time of year, when the snows melt and it starts raining, that river swells real big, and a lot of water comes down that. 200 years ago and prior, this land would flood 3 to 6 months out the year during the flood season. Then it would dry up, and it would do that again the next year, and it would dry up, and they keep doing that till a settlement builds up, and then the river would change its course. And it did that all over South Louisiana. That's how the boot of South Louisiana was made, by the settlement. The hard ground is about 20 foot below the surface. And then you got a layer of like floating compost. We call it settlement. It comes all the way up. And once that comes out the water well, it gets high enough, should I say, and the tide falls, the seeds will start to germinate, and the grass grows. The first land that forms is the slow grassy land. That's what we call our marshland, or the early Cajuns called that floton, meaning floating land in Cajun French. And that's exactly what it is. It's just a root ball that interlocks underneath that grass, and it makes a mat that kind of float up and down with the water. And then you have all different types of trees that'll grow. Look at them. Most of them very small and mangled up, and they don't get very big. The reason being is those trees have surface roots. They have all types of them. You have all kinds of trees that come down that seeds that come down that Mississippi River. You got willow trees, oak trees, all that. But the surface root trees just go right along the surface, and the only thing holding them trees from uprooting is the small roots of these grasses right here. We have over 100-mile-an-hour winds come through here a couple times a year. It's kind of close to 200-mile-an-hour winds. They just kind of up the tree. The only tree that's going to grow for any period of time and get tall, those ones on the point right there. That's the ball cypress tree. Those are a little bit different. Those are kind of unique. They have a root structure that goes way down to that hard ground down there, and it's able to grow with a submerged root structure. And the way it does that without it rotting out, as part of the root structure, when you look around that tree, you can see kind of the tops of it. It's got a very high tide right now, but the part of the root structure go out the water a little bit higher than the highest tide, and where the root structure could always get some area. By them doing that, having that big root structure, they're able to grow a lot taller and they grow moss. South Louisiana was covered with these trees years ago, and they logged them out of here. They cut them all down because not many people lived out here. It flooded a lot of the year, So they was cutting these trees out of here, not realizing that it would cause one of the biggest problems we have today, and that's called coastal erosion. They say we lose about a football field of land each day off of South Louisiana, and sometimes a lot more than that, y'all.